beautiful creative people. This is Kiala Givehand of Givehand Creative, and I'm coming to you for 2014 Book in a Day. I am ridiculously excited about Book in a Day 2014, which I'm only doing once a month. And so today is January 30th, going on 4 p.m. and it has been an amazing year. 2013 was an amazing year. All the stuff that I've learned doing Book in a Day, 1 book a week, 52 books for the entire year. I'm hoping to share a lot of that with you this year. Doing a lot of new things, going to try some different things with Book in a Day 2014 starting in February. And so yeah, I'm just excited that you all are still here with me on the journey, especially those of you who've been here from the beginning. If you were watching and paying attention, I created a mixed media inspiration deck at the end of the year last year, or I created it earlier in the year, but I launched it in December of 2013. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, or you're not familiar with it, it's a deck of cards that mixed media artists can use, or anyone really, but I designed it with mixed media artists in mind. And so it's a wonderful thing. There was a whole blog hop. There's a bunch of videos out about it. You can check the blog for it. I just launched the new expansion packs that go with it. So if you haven't checked out the expansion packs, you should totally do that. We have expansion packs for journaling, for doodling, 2 different technique packs, which adds to the techniques that are already in the 52 cards that are here. And then there's a create your own, which is just a set of blank cards where you can add them to your deck, write your own on the back of them. So many wonderful and amazing things have happened just based on giving myself that yearly challenge, that I'm really stoked to see what's going to happen for 2014. I can only imagine that other things will sort of come up for me, and I'll be able to share them with you all as I go through this journey. So hopefully you've been watching the Hump Day how-to videos that come out on Wednesdays. I missed a couple of Wednesdays in there for January, but I just got to get back into the groove of doing a video every week, right? So once I'm back into the groove, you'll see those will come out every week. But check out the blog. I got a lot of stuff going on for 2014. I'm offering a lot of live courses, which I'm extremely excited about. I love the video, and I love social media, and I love sort of being on, you know, cyberspace and being able to connect with people in New Zealand and Australia and all these different places without ever leaving home. But I also really love hands-on, working with people, showing people how to make books in person. So I have about 9 classes that I'm teaching this year of live in-person classes. So I'm so excited about that. So all that stuff is over on the blog. You can go take a look there on the website. You can get all that information over there. I want to jump into Book in a Day 2014. So I'm doing a simple book today. If you're familiar with the One Little Word that Allie Edwards, I think is her name, created years ago. My first time doing One Little Word was last year. My word was patience. And this year, my word is breathe. And so I wanted to kick off the Book in a Day 2014 with my one word, my one little word, breathe. So I thought I'd do a book all about breathing, in terms of what breathing means for me and why I chose that word. So I'm glad that you're here to join me along on this ride, and I'll see you on the other side of Book in a Day 2014. Okay, see you back here in a sec. Okay, so here we go. It is 4:10, and I earlier in the year I created this hand carved stamp with my one little word, breathe, on it, and so I'll be using that today. And mostly I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat simple, but you know, if you watched any other videos from last year, you know that I say simple and then it ends up taking a life of its own. So I'm starting with this huge pad of mixed media paper by Canson, and this is the 14 by 17 that I'm using, and I'm just going to take 1 sheet of this and tear that out. And then, so this is 14 by 17. So I'm going to, on the 14 side, I'm going to tear this in half. So I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'm actually going to bring up my tear bar, and I have to stand when I use this. And it's just a straight edge, so some people call it a tear bar, some people call it a straight edge. And I'm just going to use it to rip this in half. I like how it leaves I like the way it leaves a deckled edge on the end when you use a tear bar. So I'm going to go with that piece. So my goal is to create a book that has a closure on its own. So I'm thinking that I should probably start with doing some score marks maybe. So I have to think about this and how I'm going to divide the page, because I'm thinking 4 sections with a flap. So I'm going to do some measuring and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I actually decided before I do the scoring and all of that, I want to get some paint on this. I don't want it to be a white page. So I'm just going to use some very light colors. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Maybe blue or pink, very light colors, a little bit of gesso maybe. Yeah, I think that. So I'm going to start with some gesso, and I'm just going to get some gesso onto the onto this paper, and I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to do it on both sides. Okay, so that took me about, let's see, it's 4:47. That took me, I don't know, 20 minutes or so to do both sides and get it dried. I really love these Liquitex glossies because I'm just a huge fan of Liquitex in general on paper. When you layer it, gesso, and then Liquitex paint, it almost gives the paper a leather-like feeling. I really love that feeling. So yes, so both sides are done. Now I'm going to do my measuring and scoring and folding of the book. So I will be right back to make all of that happen. Okay, so this is going to be fun because it's going to require me to do some based on how I've divided the page up, or how I think I want the page to be divided. It's going to require me to do some work with 16ths, and that's always fun. Okay, so I was just looking to see which side, because I'm going to have a flap, and I want to see which side I want to be my flap. I don't know, it's kind of difficult there. I think I'm going to go with this side as my flap. Okay. So I'm measuring at 3 7/16. 3 7/16. 6 15/16. 10 1/2. and then I'm going to stop there and come back to the last one is going to be based on how all of this folds. And then once I have that folded, then this will help me know where to put this mark, this score mark for my flap. So I'm just going to line it up. I'm thinking I want to give myself a little bit of space, so I'm going to go up just a little bit. And I'll give you that measurement in a second for those of you who are following along and making your own one little word book. So now that should give me awesome space so that when I fold the flap over, it doesn't make these pages on this side buckle, right? That's super important. So awesome. Great. So let's just get that measurement for the last one so you know what they are. So the score marks are at 3 7/16, 6 15/16, 10.5, and then this one, the last mark, or the last score line, is at 14 2/16, which is an eighth, so 14 1/8, or 14 2/16. Sweet. All right, so now the structure is done, with the exception of one thing. I want to make this flap almost look like an envelope, so I want to bring it in at an angle. So in order to do that, I'm going to find my center point, and since this is 7, it should be 3.5, but I just want to double check that and make sure. Three and a half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my small board here, and I'm actually going to go from the center point to the corner of my envelope. I'm just going to make, before I do any cutting, I just want to make sure. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so then my ultimate goal is to have this flap tuck into the paper here, right? So I need to make a slit in order to do that. And it should now tuck nicely right into that spot. Awesome. Okay, so the structure is done. Now I need to get some content in here. And what I'm thinking is, because I want to focus on this word, I'm going to do a title here, which I haven't thought about what the title will be yet, but there'll be a title here. And then when you open the book, I'm thinking this word breathe will be stamped here and maybe even embossed. No, I don't know yet. Gotta think about that. So breathe. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna, I don't know yet. I want to do just some short little phrases or lines like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, but like maybe breathe in through the heart, breathe out fear, something like that. So I have 4 spaces for content. So I'm going to think about that a little bit. So I've been working for about an hour. And so I think that's not bad. I mean, technically I could stop, right? That's a book, done. But this year I really do want to do more books with content. I did a lot of books last year that were blank because I'm a huge fan of blank books. I don't know, something about, I don't think you can have too many blank books in your life. So again, I'm going to play around with content, and yeah, it almost looks like a little purse, right? A little clutch bag. Ladies out there watching, you know the bag I'm talking about. So anyway, but I'm thinking of it more along the lines of this orientation. So title, and then some content on the inside. And I like the way it sort of unfolds, and I'm thinking something surprising on the end there. I don't know. I gotta think about it. Okay. See you back here in a bit. I should probably go eat. Okay, doing a quick time check. It is 7:43. I did dinner and the whole bit. So I'm back to finishing the book. I had a chance to kind of sit with it and look at it for a moment, and I made, I guess, maybe a decision about what I want to use, how I want the book to open. I think when I started out, I was thinking the book would open from the right, and I think I tend to do that because I'm right-handed. However, it actually feels more right to me, correct to me, or I just like the way it feels better to open from the left and read it by folding each panel out to the right. So I'm going to go with that as orientation. So I was thinking about doing, so you know my whole thing is my word of the year, my one little word for the year is breathe. And I was thinking about doing a whole thing where I take a picture of myself breathing. Well, I tried that and the pictures are horrible. Like you can't really capture breathing in a photograph. So I thought, nix that, try something else. So I've been playing a lot with this art set that I got, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, before Book in a Day 2013. So I guess at least a year ago. And it's a hypotrochoid set. And if you're not familiar with what those are, they are these little geometric shapes that you can make. And I don't know if you did this as a kid, but I used to love these as a kid. And they come in a little set that you can get. They come with pins, but of course I don't use these for what I'm about to do because I also want to watercolor over them. So this is one that this was like my test one, and I did some metallic watercolor over the top. And so I need it to be permanent pen. So I'm going to be using my Pilot multi-ball pen for that. But the set just includes these 3 little gears. And I have multiple sets of these actually. I have this set, and then I have a set that looks like this. So there's, different ones that you can get. And basically you put the gear inside the little, I don't know what this is called, but where the gear pieces connect to one another, and then you stick your pen in and you just go around. I don't know if you remember these from from being a kid, but they were really popular when I was young. And so yeah, I've been playing a lot with these in my artwork and just in various things that I've been working on in my art journal mostly. So I thought, why not do 4 of these little cards and attach them, each one on its own panel, and as I put it on the panel, I'll put the phrase that goes with each one underneath. So I'm thinking that is where I'm headed. I don't know that I like this color I used for the metallic here, so I may end up using a different color metallic. Or I may do 4 different colors. We'll see. So that's the direction that I'm heading in. Okay, so I'm going to play around with these, and I'll speed through that on the video. And then we'll come back and assemble everything. See you back here in a minute. cut and brought down to a certain size. It's 822. And I'm going to do watercolor on these, metallic watercolor, and then I think I'm going to start with, this is the end, so end with a light color and maybe dark, lighter, just like I've done small, you know, from small to large. That's what I'm thinking. So let's do that. Then I'm going to round the corners and then we will assemble. Okay, so I'm going to try something very, maybe odd, I don't know yet. I'm going to take a piece of Bristol paper, smooth finish, smooth surface Bristol paper, and I am going to put a bunch of this metallic, of these metallic watercolors, various colors, all over the page. Not various, but the same 4 colors I've used in the I used red, purple. So the same 4 colors that I used already. And I'm just going to go all over the page with it in various areas. Okay, so there's lots of metallic-y shimmer on this paper, and my goal and my hope and my thought, and we'll see how it works, is to run this through the printer and print my words on it and then cut them out. And so in essence it'll only be, you know, a small portion of the page that gets selected. So we'll see. That's my goal. We'll see if it works. See you back here in a sec. Okay, so it is 9:16 and I think it worked, my idea to print this out this way. The one thing, if you are new to Book in a Day and this is your first experience with Book in a Day videos, I have to just go ahead and tell you my printer and I, we don't get along. So there's always drama whenever I try to print using my printer. But somehow we managed to make it happen. So what I did is I just printed it a bunch of different times and a bunch of different fonts to see which one well, 3 different fonts. And then I didn't want to waste the paper because I like the way it looks. So I went ahead and just printed the word breathe a bunch of times that I will probably use throughout the year in my art journal, my calendar, a bunch of other places. So I'm going to cut these out. I left the grid lines on there to give me a guide for where to cut. So I'm going to cut these out. Okay, everything is all cut out, and now it's just a matter of getting everything in place. So I'm going to pull out the double-sided tape because it's easy, and we like easy. And a nice piece on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put tape on the back of all of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we're ready to place everything, and I just want to use this tape to help me get things straight, because I like things to be straight. Okay, the book is done, yay! And it is 10:10 p.m. That's one of my goals this year with choosing the word breathe as my one little word, is to do my best not to be up till 2 and 3 in the morning making a book. So my hope is that giving myself a full month to sort of think about, even though I'm going to always create the book in one day, my hope is that I've been thinking about it and that I can come to the book almost ready to just jump in and make it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So the book is done. It's called One Little Word, and the flap opens. And it just reveals one of the spiral art images at a time. Breathe into the heart. Breathe out with intention. Breathe in light. Breathe out fear. So, I really love it. It's so simple, and it has all the elements and qualities that I love in a book. It's non-traditional in that it's not a traditional book that we know to be a book. It has a closure, which I really love books that have a closure like that are like encased in themselves. I love that. It has, I love this spiral art. I've been playing a lot with this lately, and it just really speaks to me geometrically. I think the left side of my brain really likes it a lot. And then it's also super artistic, and so the right side of my brain is happy. So it just balances me out. The shimmering paints. I love things that shimmer. I don't really necessarily like glittery things, but I like when something has a metallic shimmer and sheen on it. The feel of this book, the Liquitex paints mixed with gesso, on top of gesso on paper, just does amazing things to a piece of paper. If you've never experienced it, you should give that a try. It just creates this leathery feel. I really love it. And then, yeah, it just has, the words are very simple. It has a very simple, I like folded structures a lot. I like sewing paper, but I also really like a nice folded structure. So yeah, perfect book to start with for this 2014 year, because it really does encompass a lot of the things that I have come to know that I like as a book artist after doing 52 books in a year. And so I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I hope that you will make one of these using your one little word for the year, and maybe start a tradition for yourself. I think I might do one of these a year, each year at the beginning in January, just do a book, probably the same structure, and just see how many of these I can accumulate over a lifetime. Well, not a lifetime, because I'm starting at 41, but you get my point from here forward. So yeah, I'm thinking that I'll make one of these for myself each year using the one little word that I choose each year. It just seems fitting. Seems like a neat thing to do, a tradition to start for myself. So I hope that, you know, this has been a simple, easy structure that you feel like you could make. Maybe you'll make one for your one little word this year. I think that I'm going to provide a PDF with some instructions on how to create this book. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hop over to my website, sign up for my newsletter, because it'll go out to folks who are signed up for the newsletter. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, go out and create something beautiful this week, this month. You have an entire month until I come back, so, well, give or take a few weeks. So I'll see you back here in a few weeks for Book in a Day, number 2, 2014. Again, this is Kiala Givehand signing off for Book in a Day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.